Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay. So we were discussing about Vim editor shortcuts, right? I'm just going to some directory. Okay, I need a file. So I'm opening a file called form.xml. Okay. So in the last session, we discussed about few shortcuts, right? Like how you copy a line, how you paste a line. For copy, it is YY. For paste, it is P, right? And how do you go to the last line of a file? Shift G. How do you go to the first line of the file? Small gg. If you want to go to the last line of current page, Shift L, Shift H. Go to the first line of the page, Shift M. Go to the middle of the current page. And if you want to jump to the last character, then it is dollar. If you want to go to the right beginning, 0, right? $0, last character of the line, and things like that, right? And very frequently in Notepad, we also usually search for something, correct? So all the shortcuts are in the notes. I'll share the notes with you later. So if you want to search for a word in a file, how do you search? Question, right? So for example, when we are working, you have 10,000 lines of some log file. There are some errors or some bugs. Okay. You want to search for all errors. Searching line by line in 10,000 lines is very difficult, correct? In that case, you should know the shortcut for searching a word called error, for example, right? So how do you search? Assume that I have some words here. I'll just write, say I have E, R, R, O, R, something like that. Okay. No. Okay, anything it is okay. Let's search something. Say assume that I want to search for dependency. How do you search in Vim editor? Very simple. Slash. You see bottom left slash here. Slash. And then just give the word, whatever you want to search. Dependency. Okay. See, cursor moved to the first occurrence of the word. And now I want to go to the next matching word. So once you search, then just type N for next. N. See, it went to the next word, next match, and so on. Okay. So how do you search for a word? Slash, say for example, Maven. Okay, enter. So if you want to go to the next word, just keep pressing N. That's how you search for a word in a file. Simple. Okay. And let's see how we can find and replace a string. That's also common thing we do, right? Say, I want to search for example, dependency. Okay. Any word. And then I want to replace that with capital dependency. How do you search? How do you find and replace? Find or search. Okay. Very simple. Colon. Yes. Okay. No. Colon percentage. Okay. See, percentage means select all. Remember this way. Percentage means what? Select all. See, D for delete. What is it doing? It deleted everything, right? You undo. So colon, sorry, percentage means select all. Okay. So I want to select the complete file. I want to select the complete file. Then, yes. means substitute. What you want to substitute? Yes means substitute. What you want to search for, and this is the second word that you want to substitute with. Say for example, I want to find dependency. Okay, this is what I want to find. Replace with capital dependency. So this is the first word. Slash will give you boundary. Okay, this is the first word. Second word, slash is giving you the boundary. Just say enter. See, small turn to caps. That's how you search and replace something. Undo. Say, for example, I want to find compiler. Replace with capital. What do? Colon. Remember, percentage means select all. Yes means substitute. Okay. Compiler with whatever you want to. Say, for example, compiler with the y quality. See, wherever there was compiler, right? That got replaced with y quality, right? But what about this? This is not replaced, is it? Compiler, why? Surprise. One second. So I want to find compiler. Select all. Yes, slash small compiler with caps. Okay. It replaced these two, but this is not replaced. Select all, yes, slash. Okay, 2 times you have to do. Second. Okay, see this. So if see, I'm not really sure why it is not replacing this. Okay, see this. Enter. It is replacing this one and this one. Say I'm here, for example. So it is replacing these two. Okay, but it is not replacing the other two, right? So there is one more option here called G. G means global. G means global. Global means all occurrences. So if you want to find and replace all, just give G at the end. See, if I use G, it is replacing all. But without G, if I don't use G, it has to find and replace one by one, right? Correct. Wherever there's a cursor, say for example, my cursor is here. But in this case, it is find and replace. There is a mistake we made it only. Leave that. I don't think too much about it. So if you want to find and replace, use G. All. If you want to find and replace all occurrences, use G.
Sir, I have a question here.
Yeah.
So, sir, can we remove the last slash and see if it works?
Which one?
So, can you go to the yes? Can you remove G and the last slash? Backspace 2 times. Yes, that slash also.
This one also.
Yeah. So this works, right?
It will not work because it's a syntax error, right? So what is the syntax? First word, you need to separate that, right? So this first slash, second slash is separating the first word, right? Again, second word is starting, so you have to end that, right? So this is required as per the syntax. Now I understand your, I think you're thinking about this. You're thinking it is, getting confused with this slash. Is that what you're trying to analyze?
Yes, sir. Might be.
Okay.
Thanks.
No. If I remove that, it will not work. Okay. Looks like there is some issue with the vim editor only. Leave it. It is getting confused. It is replacing only this and this, but not going here. Maybe, as you said, maybe it is becoming, it is getting confused, with that slash. But let's try this. A dependency, right?
Yes.
Let's try to replace that. Dependency with capital. Azure. Dependent, something like this. Slash. See, by default, it will replace all occurrences. But specifically in this case, right, it is not doing. That is because it's maybe getting confused with something. That's a kind of a small bug in Vim editor. Leave it. Or there may be something else. Okay, so that's how you find and replace. Then what else you want to know? Anything else you use very frequently in Notepad? Find and replace.
Font size we can decrease and increase. It's possible.
This font.
Font size.
You can just say Control Shift plus plus. It will increase the font size of the terminal itself. Control minus. Right?
Same as in Notepad.
Yeah.
Sir,
Control Shift.
undo. Sir,
Control.
undo.
Undo U.
Only you.
Just U. Redo. Control R.
Sorry, Control R.
Control R is for redo. U for undo.
Oh,
Right. So one more thing. So I'm opening file in the Vim editor, right? If you see, line numbers are automatically, aligned, right? Line numbers are automatically coming up. But if you open the file in the Vim editor, you won't see the line numbers by default. But it is coming in my mission because I have some special settings. Since I have some special configurations or settings, it is giving you these line numbers. And then see, for example, I'm searching something, okay, slash dependency. You see it, the yellow color, it is highlighting the word automatically. So these are all happening because of some special settings that I have in my mission. So I'll remove those special settings. Okay, you have to, write those configurations in .vimrc. I'm removing that file. Now let me open new terminal. So let me go to some folder. Okay, let me open the file. Do you see the line number coming up? No, right? So, but okay, if you want to enable line number, this is the command, a shortcut to use. Set number, bottom left, just see that, colon, set number. If you want to disable the line number, set no number. For example, you want to copy paste, right? So you select like this. If you have line number also gets copied, set number, correct? If you are copying something like this, sometimes line numbers also copy, right? But I don't want. In that case, you want to disable them. How do you disable? Set no number. And mostly we want line numbers. So set number. But each time you open the file, every time you open the file, you have to use this, which is annoying, right? Correct. Each time you open the file, it's very difficult for us. It's very inconvenient for us to, write that shortcut, set number, always. Very difficult. So these kind of things you can permanently configure. And if you want to configure any settings permanently for your Vim editor, you have to create a file called .vimrc. Remember this. You have to create a file called .vimrc. Okay. And where that file should be? That file should be second. So you create a file called .vimrc, and that file should be in user home directory. Okay. So in your case, it will be something like home/sham, correct? So under sham directory, okay, this file should be that. If this file is in some other directory, Vim will not recognize it. It has to be in user home directory. Great. Right. So if you want to do something, if you want to set something permanently, create this file called .vimrc. Okay. And then you can write your shortcuts there. Say for example, I want set number permanently. Set number. Save and quit. So in this particular file, what is there now? Set number is there, right? So now from now on, right, you open the file. Okay, one more thing. Once you modify this .vimrc, okay, you have to load it. You want to load the file, you have to use a command called source. Source is a Linux command. If you want to load a file, what is the command we use? Source. Since I have modified something, I'm loading it again. Now go to directory. Now you open the file. See, line numbers are already given. Do I need to write set number here? Again and again? No.
Sir, loading where?
It will just load in the terminal.
Terminal. Okay.
Terminal, yeah. That means whatever changes you made, those changes will be applicable in this terminal. It will load those changes to the terminal. It will load those settings to the terminal. If you don't want to load it, then what you have to do? If you don't give this, then you have to close this and then open the new terminal. When you open the new terminal, it will be loaded automatically. But if you want to load those changes in the existing terminal, then you have to use that source command. Clear, friends? Since you understand that.
If we want to set numbers means we should use .vmrc, right? Vmrc.
No. Okay, forget about that file. .vimrc for now. Forget about that. Now, listen this carefully, everybody. I know people who are already working in software, they understand what I explained, but other people don't know about loading and configurations and things like that, right? I think that's the reason confusion. So when assume that this is your mission, okay? You open the file like this. Shukumar, do you see line numbers? No. If you want line numbers, what do you do? Tell me.
Yeah.
What is the shortcut we use? Colon.
Set numbers.
Now use this. Correct. Now I'm done with my work. I'm opening another file. Again, what you have to do? Set number. So instead of typing set number every time, right, you can permanently enable that shortcut. Okay, got it, Shivkumar? You can permanently set it. If you want to permanently, have not only set number, anything you can do. If you want to permanently do something, then what do you do? In your user home directory, get a file called .vimrc, and then whatever you type there, type it, set now. Now I modified the file, right? Or created newly, right? You have to load it. Source.vmarc, load it in the terminal. Now you go there. So set number is there, right? In vmarc, it will read that and then it will automatically apply that. You don't need to, so you don't need to write that every time. Okay, see this.
Sir, still we can add this set no number stuff here.
Still you can do if you don't want to. Set no number. That still works. Set no number is to disable the line numbers. Okay. Right. So I want to have another setting permanently. Now you see, I'm searching for something. Okay, slash properties. See, it is searching, correct? It is showing me this. Now, if you want to go to the next match, what do? N, right? N for next, N. But you see, I want to highlight this. I want to highlight this. Whenever it searches for word, I want to highlight it. Is it highlighting? No. I want to highlight that. And I want to have that setting permanently. What do I do? MRC. For highlight, it is HL search. That's a shortcut. HL search. I modified it, so I'm loading it again. It is set, okay? Set HL search. Set HL search. Load file name. Now you go there. We have one setting permanently, right? What is that? Highlight search, correct? See, now if I do slash properties, now it is highlighting. Once you enter, it is highlighting. So this is the result of that. So this is a useful thing, right? If you don't want to, if you don't like it, don't do it. It's simple. But I like it. So I have this in my, usually I keep this in my settings. One more thing, see this. Now slash observe P. Is it highlighting P? Is it highlighting P? No. R, it is not highlighting anything. I type O, not highlighting. I want another feature here. As and when I type, it has to, highlight. So now PRO type, right? It has to highlight this like this for me. The moment I type P here, it has to highlight the P also automatically. We call that as incremental search. What's that? Incremental search. As and when I type something, it has to highlight it. If you want that, you can use this shortcut, okay? .vmarc. For that, it is set INC, incremental search. See if you have that, what will happen? Now see, I'm searching, okay? See, I type P now. P is highlighted. R O P E R T I E S, correct? So as and when I type, it highlights. So if you have this feature, what will happen, right? The moment you type prop, you can see very immediately whether that is there or not. If you want that, you use this thing. What's that? HL incremental search. This is for highlighting. Highlighting is with yellow. Clear? So if you see any one of my Linux machines, I always have those settings permanently. One more thing. If you want to go to the previous directory, I was here, I went here, right? Now if you want to again go back to the previous one, CD-, it will take you to the previous directory. So for example, okay, tab. I want to set the tab space. See here, if I type tab, it is taking 8 characters, 8 spaces. But mostly in real time, we need 4 spaces. Tab means it's a 4 spaces. Mostly we prefer 4 spaces for tab. We prefer 4 spaces for tab, but it is giving you 8 characters. How do you set it to 4 permanently? For that, for a tab, it is this, okay? Set tab stop is equal to 4 spaces. Now it will take only 4. Now if I type, if I press tab, it is giving only 4 spaces. Now earlier it was 8. So these, not only this, anything you want to permanently set, edit this cutter file and then you can write anything you want. These 4 are frequently used. At least I use, I have these 4 settings usually permanently in my machine. So I'm teaching you. Clear with this? Okay. These are the Vim shortcuts. If you know these shortcuts, you can easily work with any files in real time. As I said, don't mug up them. Okay, let us touch. Instead, try to use them or do this. For example, print all those shortcuts, right? Stick it to the place where you mostly spend all your workstation, whatever, wherever, and try to use them every day. That's how you remember. Any other questions you have about Vim Editor?
Sir, if you could share the shortcut file.
I'll share it, friends. Today only I'll do that. Okay. Right. So we are working with basic Linux commands. Take the first link. Go down. So we discussed about almost all these commands. So sometimes people use Nano. VA is the older version of Vim Editor. There is something called JED also. So, but we don't use Nano, VI, JD these days. Vim is the advanced one. So we learned Vim. Next command is cat. If you want to list the content of a file, use a command called cat. Cat will show you the content of the file on the screen. Okay. Anybody is still struggling to operate Linux machine, Ubuntu, or anybody is struggling to understand the commands or whatever I'm explaining? You can share your experience. Anything is fine for me. Are you all following? Let me ask Triveni. Triveni, are you understanding? Or you have any confusion?
No, sir, I'm understanding, but a bit of confusions I have, sir.
For example, Triveni,
Like now you have taught me this, right, sir?
which one? We made it.
In this a little bit of confusion, sir, like set numbers and all. So maybe after, if I see once again the recorded videos, I may understand, sir.
So, you got confused when I explained that vimrc file?
Like you create CD and opening files and all, sir.
Yeah.
In that time I get a bit of confusion, sir.
So is it like when I type the commands, you feel confused?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel like you're
I'll be moving
fast.
here and there for,
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So that you can fix, that will be fixed very soon, Triveni, because if you want to fix that, you have to practice more. That's very
Yes.
simple. More time you spend on Ubuntu Linux, more easily you understand. So you are a fresher, right? I understand.
Yes.
So it's
Yes,
just the beginning, right? So keep practicing. That will get fixed. That's a very common problem I see. Okay. Yeah.
okay,
Especially, you
okay.
know, people are not in, working in software. Okay. Okay. If it still continues, you let me know. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. After a week, 2 weeks, you observe. If you still have those confusions, let me know. I'll tell
Okay,
you
sir.
how you can fix it. Anybody else, guys? Any other challenges you're facing? Okay. Right. So let's move to other commands. Cat command. Okay. I'm here now. You know this, right, everybody? So home is a directory. Under that folder, we have parallels, sources, another directory, and then gamut cart2, right? Say I want to see the content of a file. You can use cat command. Why we use cat? See, you are working in real time, you want to see the content of you don't want to open it. See this. If you want to open, you can open in the Vim editor, right? Vim pom.xml file. You can open that in the Vim editor, but without opening the file, I just want to see the content of it. Cat. Simple. This is very, very important command. Grep. Say, for example, you are working. Okay, you are working. You want to search for some word in a file. How do you search? If you open the file in the Vim editor, you can search, right? Without opening the file. Without opening the file. Because if I have like 10, 20 files, I cannot open, right? All. So without opening the file, if you want to search for a word in a file, we use a command called grep. Grep is for searching a word in a file. So let me first take some content, write some content in the file, okay? Because I want to search for some word, okay? So assume that there is some word, ERROR. Assume it is all caps. Here it is ERR, small and caps combination. Assume that. Here I have a small. Okay. Some content, somewhere, some file has some content. Now, there is a file, right? It's a 10,000 lines of file. There are a lot of errors in the file. It's a log file. Opening the file and then searching one by one is very difficult. So I want to search for a word. How do you search? That's where we use command called grep. Grep, what you want to search in double quotes. That's the syntax. Okay, remember. Error. Where you want to search? File name. Simple. Grep, what you want to search, where you want to search. See, it is giving you the line, but it is not working as per our requirement, right? What is that? Can somebody guess?
Case capital.
Yeah. So if I type capital E, it is searching only for the capital E. See this? But in this file, there is a word, okay? Smaller case, cap, small combination, caps and everything. But I don't know, right? See, when you're working, you'll be working with some files, unknown files, and you don't know whether it is capital E, small e, or mix and match or what it is. You don't know. In that case, what if I want to list for all? What is the default behavior of grep? Grep by default searches for the exact word that you give. If I want to, if I want to ask grep command to ignore the case, don't worry about the case. What should I do? How do you change the behavior of the command, default behavior?
Using options, sir.
Using options, correct? So can someone tell me what is that option we can use to ignore the case? Anybody know the option?
Yes, sir. Minus I,
Hyphen
sir.
A.
Hyphen I, sir.
I means ignore case. Remember that way. See, now it will not worry about the small caps. it will search for everything. So usually when we use grep, right, hyphen I is very important. So when you use grep, usually we use hyphen I option always. Anybody know other options of grep? Any other options, because few people know IA, right? Any other options used with grep?
Sir, hyphen V, sir. Hyphen N, hyphen V.
Hyphen N, hyphen V, very good. Say for
Sir,
example,
one question. Can we get the number of that word, like error in this case 3?
yes, count. How many words are there? How many errors are there? Count, right? You want to get the count.
Yes.
Okay, super requirement, yes. Okay, we'll go to the question later.
Oh,
Let us see where we use what is this hyphen N? Guess what is this for? If you see here, it is not giving you it is not showing you the line number. Is it showing the line number? No. If I want to say line number, at which line that particular search is present, use hyphen N for number. So N is also very important. Okay. Now, say for example, this is searching for exact. This is searching for the word called error, correct? This is searching for the word called error. That means it is showing the match. Wherever that word is present, it is listing, giving you that line. Okay. I want to do the reverse search. What is that? Reverse search. Reverse means what? So wherever the word is present, it is giving you matching lines, it is listing. Reverse means except these three, show me all. Sometimes, right? See, you have a file, 100 errors are there. You don't want to see the lines where the error is present. You want to see the other output. You want to see other output because you don't want to have those error lines. In that case, it's a reverse search, right? Matching, this is matching search. This is reverse matching. If you want to list reverse match, hyphen P. We also call it as an invert search. Exact search, invert search, invert, I-N-V-E-R-T, V, remember that way, okay? Invert search, see this? Now, if you see this output, you won't see the line where the error is present. Those lines are removed from here. So how many options you know? I for ignore case, V for reverse search, N for line number. Okay, right. Now, okay, you can use all also together. Instead of using I hyphen I and then hyphen N, you can also combine with single, you can also combine multiple options with single hyphen, right? You can also do that. Okay. Now, say, okay, count. I want to see how many, occurrences are present. I want the count. For count, I think it is C. Yeah. C for count. 3 occurrences. That means 3 errors are present. You want to know how many errors are present in a file. Number you want 3 errors, 10 errors, 20 errors. In that case, C is very helpful, correct? C for count. So I for ignore case, C for count, N for line number, V for reverse search. Grep has a lot of other options, and we know it's not possible for any human to remember all, and you should not try, correct? Based on the requirement, you maybe do the Google search or ChatGPT and then find out the option, use it. These 4 are frequently used options. Clear with this? Any questions? Or anybody know any other command, any other options? Share your knowledge. Any other options you use on a daily basis? Any other options? Okay.
Sir, hyphen E is there, sir. to check either option.
Hyphen E for?
So sorry?
Hyphen E for?
So either, if we want to search either them or those, if we are trying to search any of those in the lines, so it will give us the value.
Can you give me some example, Vishal?
Yes, sir. So suppose there are two lines which is containing words like them or those. So we want to print the lines which is having either of these two words.
Mm-hmm.
Was it clear or?
One second.
Yeah.
Hyphen E, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, first we need to write hyphen IW and then we can use hyphen E.
Hyphen
IW,
here.
ignore word. Yes,
Ignore
IW.
case. Ignore case. Okay. And then hyphen E, correct?
Sir, IW, sir, W.
W.
Yeah.
Let's see what
And
happens
then,
with the W. Okay.
yes, sir. Okay.
Group ID and then one more word.
Then, sir, we need to put it in
Five, correct?
speech marks, sir. Double quotes.
Say one second.
The words needs to be put it in.
Let's search
speech
for this.
mark.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's search for either Maven or compiler. Is that fine?
Sure, sir.
I'm just taking the right use case, okay, so that people understand it.
Or sir, take some group ID or scope which is having in different line.
Yeah, correct. Where is it? Group ID is there. So, group ID is here. Along with that, no, Maven. I'll take these two, okay? JUnit and artifact ID, version.
Sure, sir.
JUnit and artifact ID. Fine, right? That will match the use case, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me create what is there. Assume that you have this, okay? Here you have JUnit artifact both.
So
Okay.
let's
Enough.
let's
This is
yes,
enough.
yeah.
So that's little complex one, but you try to understand. JUnit R. Oops.
So
Group ID. One second. I is W without ILs. I have to surround that in double quote.
yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Searching for I.
yes, sir. Actually, we need to remove that pipe symbol between the two of the words, and we need to separate both of them with different speech marks.
Speech mark means what do you mean by speech mark?
Sir, double quotes.
Okay.
Double quotes. Then again hyphen e in between of those two words. Two words. Then again hyphen e.
Here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Group ID. Group ID. JUnit.
Let's try with W also, sir. I'm not really sure what W means here, but
W means exact word.
Yeah, okay. So
This is extended graph. Hyphen E means here extended graph, correct?
yeah, yes.
Extended graph. Searching for multiple patterns in a file.
Sir, I hope like this is used for mostly if we have to search multiple example at the same time. So we have to use this hyphen E as
You're
per the words.
you're right. You're right. I just want to see the difference quickly. Okay, see this, everybody. So, as you mentioned, that's right. For example, grep for, okay, say group ID or say like some word like this. It is searching for this JUnit, correct? But sometimes, right, you want to search for multiple words. That means I want to tell grep command search for JUnit. Okay, search for another word. For example, what that artifact ID. So you want to search for this will search only for one word, right? If you want to search for multiple words, for example, I want to search for JUnit as well as this one. In that case, we use hyphen E. Hyphen E means using hyphen E means you can search for a pattern. This for a pattern, okay? Say for example, I don't know whether you will understand this or not at the moment. See this. Hello grep, search for this pattern called search for this pattern. So hyphen E used to say search for this. Again, one more hyphen E, search for this. Again, if you want to search for some, 2-3 more words, again, hyphen E, one more word, hyphen E, another word. You can give like that. Now you say this. Understand this hyphen E, hyphen E? Likewise, you can search for multiple patterns. For example, I want to search for another word, okay? So I'll search for, say, for example, Maven. So it is giving the line where JUnit is present, where artifact is present, or Maven is present. So likewise, you can do. It's a actually logical OR operation. Search either this or this or this. Okay. If any one is present in a line, it will show you. That means it is searching for all the lines. And then, Vishal, you said you don't understand what is -w, correct? Vishal, is that you? Or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
there is a problem here. Can you identify, Vishal? What is that? What are we searching for?
Artifact.
Artifact, right? What is it searching for? Is it searching for the exact word?
And no, I got it. So
No.
W stands for the exact word. If it is artifact ID, then we should use W to.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
got it, sir.
So everybody see this. So I give artifact, correct? What is it doing? If that artifact ID is present anywhere, it is just giving me that. But I want to search for the exact word. What is that exact word I'm looking for? Artifact ID. Is it the exact word? See, I'm searching for artifact, but it is giving me the line which has artifact ID. It's a single word, right? There is no space. It's a single word. I don't want this. I want to have, a line where that word is present exactly. By default, what it will do, wherever, if it is present, it will just give you. But I don't want this because I am searching for artifact, but there's artifact ID. I don't want this. So if you want to search for the exact word, use -w. Is it giving that artifact? Is it giving this line? No. If you see this, it's not giving this. Okay. Earlier it was giving this, right? Now you don't see that line here. See, it is giving this because JUnit is present. This one. Is it giving this? No. That is for -w. If you want to search for the exact word, okay. If I give artifact means it has to give me the line where the artifact ID is present. If any other things are there, I don't want. Like other things means, see, there is some. This is a different word. This is a different word. Understand this, Vishal? That's -w.
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir.
See, so if you want to search for the multiple words, use -e. This, and this can be a pattern. We call it the pattern. There is something called pattern in Linux. Don't worry about that word called pattern. No, regular expressions, patterns, and things like that. So for now, just remember a simple one: multiple words, either this or this or this. Logical or if any one is present, it will give you one or more. Clear with this -e option? Any questions you have? If somebody don't understand this, you should not worry. No, see, I understand clearly. If I'm learning something new, right, I don't try to understand something 100%. I try good, but if you don't understand 1 to 2% or 10%, don't worry, because you cannot learn everything overnight, right? That happens with everybody. So this one, you just leave it. Once you spend some time on Linux, right? Maybe after 1 month, after 2 months, right? Once you use normal grep command for a couple of times, then if you see this, you'll understand. Because your mind reached to some level already. Means what? Your mind understands what is W, what is I, N, and things like that. So if your mind has something, it can incrementally, right, understand the advanced to what it already knows, correct? But if you tell your mind to understand everything, right, together, it says, boss, I cannot. Correct? So first learn grep command with those 3-4 options. Once your mind knows those 4 options, then it can digest it, then it can understand it. But 4 together, it says, I cannot. So that's the things work. Leave that. Okay. Any other questions about grep? You would have experienced it, right? Say, for example, you are reading something, In first go, your mind cannot read everything, cannot remember everything, right? First go, it remembers few things. After 2 days, again, if you again read the same thing, it understands or remembers the remaining thing. Third time, it understands, remembers few more things. In at first go, can it understand everything? No. So that's how it works. That happens in learning. Okay, question.
Sir, this grep command, it's only grep the content it's available inside the file, or is it also grab something on the directory also?
See the question now, correct? Grep is only for searching a word in a file. If you want to search for the file, there is a command called find. We'll talk about that later. Oops, where is it? Find here. So grep is only for searching word. If you want to search for a file, there's a different command. It's only for the word. Okay. Understand that? I'll give you the command using which you can search for a file. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Let's move on. SCD is for find and replace a string in a file. Say, for example, I have a file called form.xml, right? If you want to find and replace for a string, you know, right? Yes. What is that? You want to find and replace for a string? Percentage, yes. Substitute this with this, correct? But it is a Vim way, correct? It's a Vim shortcut. So if you open the file in the Vim editor, you know how to find and replace it. But without opening the file, I want to find and replace a string. For example, in pom.xml file. How do you do that? See this. I have a word, okay? For example, I have a word called error. I want to replace error with fail. Error with fail. How do you do that? Can somebody tell me the command? Without opening the file in the Vim editor. If you have the file in the Vim editor, you know how to find and replace. But Vim is not there. Or without opening the file, you want to find and replace something. See, when we are working as a DevOps engineer, we face with all these things. Okay. So you have a file and then there are like 100 occurrences. And manually one by one finding and replacing is very difficult. So what do? You need a command. If you have a command within few seconds, you can find and replace something, right? Say 100 occurrences or 1000 occurrences, very easily within few seconds, correct? So question comes, how do you find and replace the string? What is that command? SED. Sed. People call it sed or SED. Okay. SED. Substitute what you want to substitute. So this is a boundary, okay? Slash is for the boundary. First word. For example, error with fail. G for global. All occurrences. In which file? This one. What is the syntax? Command. Yes means substitute. What you want to substitute? Where you want to substitute? G means globally, means all occurrences. And then file name. That is syntax. Remember, first comes command, then your pattern, what you want to find and replace, then it's a file. See, wherever there was error, it replaced that with fail. But it is giving you the output on the screen. I don't want output on the screen. So this is the default behavior. SCD, it will do the job, but it is giving you the output on the screen. It is giving you, it is showing the output on the screen. But I don't want the output here. I want the find and replace to be happen. I want find and replace in the file itself. It should happen in the file itself. What do you do? What's the shortcut we use for that? SCD hyphen I. I means in place. Don't show me the output. Okay. Instead, go to the file directly. That is in place. Go to the file directly and then make that happen. See, find and replace is done. That's about SCD command. Again, it is case sensitive, correct? I gave capital ERR. It is exactly taking that. But I want to find and replace, without, considering the case. For that, what do I do?
Ignore.
Is it?
Ignore. Again,
No, I guess since this I is used for this, since this I is used for this, so again it's not hyphen I. See the confusion now. Okay, so I think it is something else. Hyphen I, ignore case. See, no, I don't think so. I forgot I used it long back. Ignore case. Option to ignore the case in CD. Capital I. Small I is for, in place. Capital I is for ignore in the case. Not working. One I is enough in the case. Wait. Right. Not there. Here you have to use hyphen I. Ignore case. Say this. Fail, fail, fail. So it's a I, and then you have to give that here. If you by default it is global, okay. By default it is global, so you don't need G. Or you can give G for global and then I for ignore case. So this I is for replacing the string in the file directly. This is for ignoring the case. See, right? Somebody said, use hyphen I, one more, I, again. So when you said that, I should have, at least, guessed it, but I could not. Okay. So even though I have used it before, right? Sometimes we forget. So Linux is case sensitive operating system, right? So see here, hyphen small I has a different job. Capital I has a different job. That means what? In Linux, capital small matters. Okay, it's a case sensitive operating system. Okay, question.
Sir, what is this global you are talking about?
Global means all occurrences, all. If you have 100, it will find and replace all 100. That's a default behavior. You don't need to use G. By default, it will do that. Okay. Sometimes, see, you have 50, right? Occurrences, 50 matches. You want to find and replace only first two, first three, first four. possible use case, right? So if you want to do that you can do that as well. Again, you may have to use some options for that. So with that, you want to find and replace all or only few, only first two, first three, and things like that. So that is also possible here. Okay.
Can we do changes in multiple files? Like here it is pom.xml, right? Can we add one more file on that?
You can, but you cannot just add something like this, I guess. Let me check that. I don't think you can actually give the file. Say I'm taking another file, okay? So here, assume that some word is present. Okay, some word is present. One second. Assume that here you have, say, Maven, okay? Somewhere here, some word is present, Maven, okay? So that word is present in two. So let's search for that word in two files, okay? Not search, okay, find and replace. Maven, I want to find Maven with, okay, with the hello pom.xml file and Jenkins file. Yeah, it is okay. You can give the both, two files. You can give any number of files here. Was that your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Sometimes I go on mute, okay, because I sit on the first floor and then sometimes kids will be, fighting and things. So I have to shout at them a bit. Doesn't you see pause sometimes. Okay, any other questions about SED command? Any other questions about this command? This is a little advanced command. Okay, try to remember this. You can give any number of files here. Okay. Then you have another command here called head. Okay. ls head and then say pom.xml file. Okay. Now we see this. I have a file. I have a file. I want to list. I want to see first 10 lines. I want to see first 10 lines. You are working in real time, right? There is some new file. There is some new file. Without opening the file, you want to quickly see what is there in the file. One way, you can say cat. Cat will give you the complete content. 10,000 lines. 10,000 lines. Your screen will get filled up with the 10,000 lines, correct? Screen gets filled up with 10,000 lines. So I don't want to see all 10,000 lines. I want to see only first 10 lines. In that case, use head command. Head means it will show you by default 10 lines, okay? By default 10 lines. It will show you by default 10 lines from top, head from top. I want to see only 5 lines, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. I want to see 2 lines, 1, 2. So if you want to see some number of lines from top, use head command. Clear with this? Simple, right? Similarly, I want to see content from the bottom of the file, tail. So it will show you 10 lines by default from the bottom. Okay. Again, here also, like, you want to see only first, you want to see 2 lines from the bottom. 2 lines, 3 lines, for example. 3. You can give the number, or if you don't give the number, by default, it will show you 10 lines. First line, second line, third line. Head, tail. So basically, head and tail is helpful for you to see a few number of lines quickly. Clear with this? Any questions about head and tail command? Okay. So I have one requirement. Okay. I want to print exactly line number 20. I want to print 20th line exactly. There are different ways to do that, but I want you to do that using head and tail only. Can somebody guess? Try. I want to print 20th line exactly using head and tail. Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
we can pass the output of first head command to the tail command, then we can achieve
Give
it.
me the command.
Yes, sir. So head minus 20.
Minus 20.
Yes, then pipe symbol, sir.
5.
Then tail
Tail.
minus 1.
Perfect. See, this is the 20th line exactly. Okay, this is the 20th line. Okay, other than Vishal, can somebody explain what is this command? How is it working? Can somebody explain other than Vishal? Because he only gave the command. Can somebody explain? How is
Sir,
it?
first it was with the head command, it was count total 20 numbers of line.
One
Okay.
second. With head command, I'm splitting the command. Okay, now see this, everybody. It is giving you 20. Okay, yes, we know this already. 20 lines.
And
Okay.
and with the tell command,
Mm-hmm.
it used that 20 line, and with that from that 20 line, it was only take the last one.
Okay, and what is this called, and
Uh,
maybe you're using it?
that pipeline, it's called like from this particular first head.
Okay, good. See this here. So this is a command, right? You know how it works? Very simple, right? What I'll do is I want 20th line, no? I'll using head command, I'll first print all 20th line. You know how to do that, right? Head -20 file name. I'll get this output, correct? On this output, remember this, that's very important. On this output, I'll apply tail command. Assume that you have this output now. You apply tail command now. If you say tail -1, it'll give this, right? That means 20th line. Basically, you're combining 2 commands. You are running this command first. Okay, head -20 pom.xml file. You get 20 lines. And then in that 20 line, I'm printing tail -1. That means bottom one is the 20th line, right? So it will print tail -1 will print something from the bottom. So you'll get only the 20th line. But we have to use something called pipe symbol here. What do you call that? We call that as a pipe. If you are combining 2 commands, usually we use pipe. How it works? So this is the output of the first one. So now this is output, correct? I want to pass this output to another command, correct? If I want to do that, I use this pipe symbol. Pipe, it connects 2 things. So I'm passing this. This is the output, correct? This is output. So head -20 _. So it is like this. Hello pipe. Take the output of this command, keep it with you. In other words, remember this. You first run this command, and that output gets stored in the pipe. This is the pipe symbol. And where is that output now? In the pipe, right? Now, pass that output to another command, tile-1. Tile-1, and then you have to give some content to it, right? Tile-1. That means it will give you one line. It will give you one line from where? Where is the content? That content is already there in the pipe, right? So pipe will pass that content here. So it is like tile-1, and then this output, this one. In this output, what is tile-1? This one. You got this. So summary, if you want to pass the output of a command as input to another command, we use pipe. In other words, you can remember, it will take the output of this, stores in the pipe, and whatever content you have in that pipe, that will give you here. So, and then this command will operate on this output. Pipe is very powerful in Linux. Okay. Likewise, you can combine multiple commands, right, together. And when when you're working again, sometimes you get a problem or use case where you need to apply multiple, where you need to use multiple commands. In that case, how do you link all these commands? Pipe. So you will understand the complex command later when we work with the DevOps tools. For now, remember this pipe. See, if I am you, this is what I do. Now I'm hearing something called a new word called pipe, right? I go to ChatGPT or Google saying, first I'll say what is pipe in Linux. And then I will ask, give me some 5 examples with pipe, simple examples with pipe, and then with explanation. Ask ChatGPT. I can say, okay, give me 5 more, examples of pipe with explanation and make it little complex. If you read, likewise, if you learn 5-10 examples, then you won the command, right? You remember it, the feature. That's how you have to learn. Not only this, anything that you hear something new here. Even then, if you don't understand, I'm there always, correct? Come, and then in the class you can ask me. Okay, I'll help you with the understanding. That's about head and tail. Any other questions you have here? Okay.
Dayanand here, sir.
With that, I
Yeah.
with that, I
So
also want to say one second. With that, I also want to say, see, apart from what I'm teaching, right? If you want to really, stand out in interviews or in real time, apart from what I'm teaching, you also have to put some extra efforts. Then you will stand out. Okay, you have to do this. Nobody will teach you 100% in the world. You go and join. You want to learn AI, for example, right? It's just see, learning is endless, right? So apart from what trainer teaches you, you also have to put some extra efforts. People who do that, they get the job very quickly and then they stand out in the competition. Please remember that. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so can we use tail command to find a particular, just like grep, like we want to see the last occurrence of a particular word or some error. So can we use tail command to find, or just we can use the line number only in
No,
tail?
it is just to list the line, not for the searching.
Okay.
Not for search. Yeah. Okay. See, now things are getting complex a bit, correct? Head, tail command. Arc is also very powerful and it is very important. So you try to learn on your own. Okay. Or I'll explain this later to you. Cut I will teach you later. Okay, the one more important command here is find command. You know how to search for a word in a file, grep command. What if you want to search for a file or directory? In Windows, right? How many times you searched for a file or a directory in your experience? Multiple times, correct? So if it is in Windows, this is what we do, right? We open file browser, right? So it's very easy. Things are very easy in Windows, correct? Because you operate Windows graphically. So I go here like this search box and then type what I want, Jenkins file. See, these many files are there with that, word. So that's how you search for a file in Windows. Linux, it's all about commands. Okay. Can somebody give me the command? How do you search for a file? Find. I want to search for a file called Jenkins file. Some file, okay? Vishal, command, do you know? Anybody?
Yes, sir, we can give the directory or file path first.
Okay. I'll search for the current directory, or like I'll say home parallels directory. Search in home parallels. File name, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Hyphen name. That's the syntax. Everybody see this. Find where you want to find. This is very important. Where you want to find. That means in which directory you want to search for, something in this directory, or inside this directory, or inside this directory, or inside this directory. So where you want to search in this directory. In this directory, I want to search for a file by its name. I want to search for the file by its name. There are different ways to search. You can search for a file based on its size. You can search for a file based on the date when it is created or last modified. So you can search for a file based on the type, whether it is binary or what thing it is. So there are different ways to search for a file. So here I am searching for a file by its name, based on its name. So name. Remembering the sequence of sequence, the syntax is very important. Find, okay, where you want to find, what you want to find, how you want to find. I want to find based on its name, by its name. Find directory hyphen name, file name. It's actually single hyphen, okay. Option, right? Hyphen. See, it is here, 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 and so on. Clear with the find command. Any questions you have? Okay.
Then, sir, you can easily find it from directly from the root directory only.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. In that case, why you are giving that directory here? Is that your doubt?
Correct, correct. Like home, parallel.
But that will take more time, no? Say if I give slash, for example, slash is the root directory, right? Slash is the root directory, right?
Correct.
So unnecessarily you are searching for, so you're searching in the entire system. It will take more time. But I know that this file is there in a particular directory. I know a direct name. I know, right? Or I want to search. I want to check if a file called Jenkins file is present in this directory only or not. In this directory or not. So in that case, I give directory. If you don't know, once again, you just want to find a file, right? You don't know in which directory it is. Then give slash. Everybody, you know this, right? Slash is called the root directory. All other directories folders are inside the slash only. Slash is the root directory. So if you don't know whether the file is, where the file is present, slash, it will search for the file in entire system. But sometimes you know the folder, or you want to see if a file is present in a particular directory. In that case, give the directory, whatever it is. See, here also I'm giving the directory name. Here I'm giving home parallels, right? Here also I'm giving the directory name. What is the directory name here? Slash. You have to give directory name, no matter whether it's a slash or some directory. So if you give slash, it will take more time because it has to search in the entire system, right? So it will take more time. So when I know a particular directory, I don't give slash, I give directory. That will give me, that will search the thing, the search will become very fast in that case for me. Understand, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody was trying to ask the question.
Yes, sir. Also, we can do other way, like in which directory I want to find, we'll go to that directory, change the
Mhm.
directory, and then we'll make find. Is that feasible?
See this. You cannot do that. Okay. So find, you have to give the directory home parallels. Okay. Instead of home parallels, you know what I can do? I can give dot. Instead of home parallels, what I can do? Dot. Where I am currently? Home parallels, correct? So instead of writing home parallels again, just give dot. Dot means current directory. I am here. So since you are already here, you can just give dot. So dot means it knows, okay, you are inside home parallel. So it will take this dot as home parallels. But you have to give the directory, dot or whatever. So without the giving dot, it'll not search by default in the current directory. You have to give the directory name. So as per the syntax, find where should be there. It can be dot. If you don't want to type like this, right? If you want to find in the current directory, give dot, but you have to give it. Find where you want to find, what you want to find, how you want to find. Understand that, Prince? So this is the easier one. Find dot, okay, and then the file. That's how you find for a file. And remember, it's a recursive operation. Recursive operation in the sense, by default it is recursive, means it will search for this file. It will search for this file under this, in this, under this home parallels, plus it will go to desktop. Inside desktop, you have 100 directories. Again, it will go to all 100 directories, subdirectories, and things like that. So we call this a recursive behavior, correct? It will go and search in all directories, subdirectories. It's a recursive operation. Find dot hyphen name, and then file. So this is the command. Understand this? Any questions you have?
Sir, I have two questions. Like
Mhm.
same way we can search for the file name also.
This is file name only.
Okay, we are searching for file right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and one more thing is, does it work for these hidden files?
Okay. We'll take the second question later. Okay. Everybody, you see the confusion now, correct? You must be having the same thing. So you don't know whether this is the file or directory now. Clear? You don't know whether that's file or directory. Remember, by default, right? It will treat this as a file. Whatever you give it as a file. But in Linux, people get confused because in Linux, extension is not mandatory for file. In Linux, files need not have extension like .txt, .xml, .zip and things like that. In Windows, extensions are mandatory. Without extension, you cannot create a file in Windows. Got the point? So the confusion comes. What's that? By default, whatever you give, it will treat that as a file. How do I search for a directory then? That calls the next option, hyphen name, hyphen type, D. And then I'll give the directory. So this is the directory. directory. So very simple. If you want to search for a file, find out -name, give the file name. Here you give the file name. If you're searching for a directory, you have to additionally use this. Why? Because find by default thinks it as a file name, correct? Correct. Now I have to tell find command, hello find, I know you will treat this as a file, but in my case, I want to search for a directory. So I'm giving -type D. Type D means directory. So very simple. If you want to search for a file, use this syntax. If you want to search for a directory, if you are searching for a directory, give the directory name and then use -type D. So how do you, into question, how do you search for a directory in Linux? Find dot -type D -name directory name. How do you search for a file? Find dot name. Very simple. If it is a directory, just add this. If you are searching for a directory, you have to add this. If I don't want to add this one, what will happen? It will check for the files, not directories. Now this is a file actually. I have files, directories with the same name, okay? So if I am giving like this, it will search for files whose name is Docker. If I'm giving this, it will search for the directory. So these are all the directories, Docker directory, Docker directory. Two versions of find command. Clear how to search for a file or directory? Any questions? Very simple. File, if you want to search for the directory, just say -type D. Clear with that? Any questions? Okay. I want to search for a file. See, I don't know where the file is. I want to search for the file in entire system. What do? Find
Slash.
find slash. Top. Okay, see this. This is a command I gave, right? Find slash. So I'm asking to search for a file. Is it searching? It is throwing some error. Permission denied, permission denied, permission denied. Why it is, telling permission denied? Guess. Somebody.
Admin access maybe nothing.
Why we need admin access?
Because root folder requires admin IDs.
Perfect. So everybody see this. By default, you are searching for, in this case, you are searching for this file under slash, right? What slash contains? First class I mentioned. Slash contains operating system related files and folders, and that is a very sensitive and restricted area. Since I am working as, my name is Parallels. So I'm a normal user. I'm not a root user. I'm not a super user. I don't have superpowers. I'm a normal person, right? So, but that means normal person is trying to search something in the restricted area, that is slash. It is not allowing me. Permission denied. So what do? I have to log in as a super user. And what is that super user name? Root. Parallels is my name, and that super powerful person's name is what? Root. So if you want to log in as a root, what you can do? You have to go here and then power off, switch user. I don't need to do all that stuff. Okay. Switch user and things like that. So here only you can switch. Switch user. Okay. As root. Once again, switch user as root. And then you have, I know, I can explain this, but I don't want to leave it. Switch user root. Okay. Switch user root. Or for now, can I simplify it once again? I just want to, because I don't want to trouble you much. You will get to that level later. Believe me, don't worry now. So if you want to switch to the root user, use this command sudo su. Sudo su. I'm normal user. Being a normal user, I'm going to switch to root user. Okay. So for that, I'm using a command called sudo. Here, if you want to switch to a particular user, what is that command? Su root, switch user and switch as a root. But normal user cannot switch to that by default. So I use another command called sudo. Sudo means you are running this command as a root user. You are running this command as root user. So I'm running this command as a root user, right? So root user can switch to that. Sudo su. It is asking for the password. You have to give you can give your password now. This is my password. See, I logged in as a root user now. I logged in as a root user. Now I want to come out of that user, exit. What is that command we use to, log in as a root? Switch user is the command. But normal user, cannot log in as a root. So I'm using sudo. Sudo will run this command as a root user. In other words, if you want to run any command as a root user, then we use sudo. First time it will ask for the password. Now you are root. Can we do one thing here? You just forget about what is sudo here. Okay. We just forget about what is sudo. Next, we are going to discuss about this command thoroughly. I know most of you have not understood when what I explained just now. I know that. I can sense it. So you'll understand about sudo later. For now, we want to concentrate on find command, right? So this is the command I want to run. Okay. I'm getting permission denied error. I'm getting permission denied because I'm searching something in the restricted area, right? So it is giving me permission denied. So what I have to do, I have to log in as a root, right? If you want to log in as a root, sudo su. Remember that. Don't think how this is working. Just, kind of blindly remember that. How do you log in as a root user? Sudo su. Blindly remember. When I explain about sudo in the next class, that time you will understand this. You just remind me. I'll explain this again to you. Okay, how sudo is working here. Okay, so find command has a problem, right? So I want to log in as a root user. How do I log in as a root user? Sudo su. I am root user now. Okay. Now I can execute that command. Find /name and then Jenkins file. See, now I am not getting the permission denied error. See, it is searching for Jenkins file, right? In entire file system, in entire mission. You still see 2 permission denied errors here. Don't worry about this. It is searching in all the directories. See, there is something called run under that user, under that 1000. That's a directory name. Okay, under that doc. So these two are not regular directories. These two are not directories. not directories, not files, kind of that situation. Okay, so these two are not directories, assume that way. So it says permission in it, just ignore these two. So even root user cannot see anything because that's not a directory. So so you cannot search for a file inside that, right? So it's a special kind of special type of files. So don't worry about this too. You just ignore this. So I'm searching for this particular word in entire system. Now you know how to search for a file, okay, in some directory. For example, in my current directory, if I want to search something in the entire submission, I use / and make sure that if you are searching in entire system, you log in as a root user. Sudo su will take it to the root user and then you can search that. Clear about finding a file? If you are searching for the directory, just add that hyphen type D here before hyphen name. Clear with that? Any questions about the find command?
No.
I said these two are not directories, right? So I'm just curious to know. I'm curious to know, few more details. Oops, one second. Probably if you're working as admin, you know all the stuff. So commands as root are related to specific systems. See, even the root user may not be able to access by default. Here is why this happens. This is a virtual file system used by Genome. See here, so but basically what it says is this is not a normal directory. Okay, it's a directory. Okay, it's a directory, but not normal directory. Normal directory means you can create files in the directory, correct? It's a directory. Directory means a folder. Inside the folder, you can have files. This is also a directory, but it's not a normal directory in which you can, have some files. So it says it's a virtual file system used by Genome, right? So like for kind of a network shares and things like that. So just remember, these two are not normal directories. So these two are used for, mounting network shares and things like that. Don't worry about that. Don't try to understand the network share and all. No. Okay. Any other questions about the find command? These two are not normal directories where you can have files. These two directories we use for mounting network shares and things like that. So, right, even root user cannot see them because those two are not normal. So you get that, ignore it. In find case, right, you can ignore. Why we are ignoring? There is no chance way that this directories will have some files. These are not special, not normal directories. That's about the find command. Okay, what is the difference between find and grep? Can someone tell me what is the difference between find and grep?
Grep is a pattern based.
Grep is for
Pattern searching.
I cannot say. Okay, let me instead of saying pattern, we can say words. Okay, grep is for searching words, whereas find is for searching
File and
files.
directories.
Files and directories, yeah. Okay. That's about the find command. And in next class, I'll explain sudo. Then we have, I think in next one session, we'll be able to complete all Linux commands, whatever we planned. And then from next to next class, we will start Git actual DevOps. Any other questions you have for me today? Okay, so I missed a few classes, right? I have not taken the classes. Just note, today it's almost 2 hours class. That means I compensated one missing class almost. Okay, and I'll spend more time. Don't worry. In coming, in upcoming classes, I'll spend more time. Any other questions for me today?
Yes, sir. I have a question. So, sir, is there by any chance do we need to learn logical volume management in Linux? Like, is it required for us?
No. For DevOps, it is not required.
Okay. Sir.
100% not required. That's for Linux admins. Okay. Any other questions? Are you all going through a basic Linux tutorials? How much you completed? If you would like to share, you share. Otherwise, it's not mandatory. Anybody wants to share how much you completed in that tutorial? I mean, what all things you learned in basic Linux tutorial? Anybody wants to share the progress? I'm fine, even if you don't share the progress.
Yeah, I learned little bit of networking commands like ping, telnet, and nslookup.
Good, because you already know a few things, correct?
Yeah.
So, good there. Yeah. Anybody else want to share the progress? You want me to assume that you are not, started that? People who are new to Linux, people who know Linux, that's okay. It's your wish because you already know a few. But people who are completely new to Linux, are you going through the tutorial or not?
Yes, sir. I have like looking after basic Linux commands.
Okay, what all things you learned so far? I mean, just
Like lspwd,
okay.
mkdir, dir, cd, rmdir, mv, rm, touch, ln, and clear, psman, echo.
Very good progress. And
Yes,
at the same time, learn some concepts, Triveni.
okay, sir.
What is file in Linux? Whatever you mentioned are the commands, correct? But
Okay, sir.
the concepts, what is file in Linux, right? How is it different from the Windows, right? Or what is the difference between Windows and Linux, right?
Yes, I have seen those also, sir.
Okay. Concepts also you learned, you're going through, plus the commands, correct?
Yes, sir.
Basic Linux tutorials. For example, if you go here, these are the commands. So here this is the concept, okay? What is Linux file system, right? Hierarchy structure, right? Things like that. Okay, concept plus commands. Happy to hear that. That's a good progress, Devini. Anybody else want to share the progress? So if you don't understand something online, right, as I always mention, you can ask me anything. Okay, I'll try to clear your confusions doubts. If you don't understand something, online, even though you try in multiple places, chat GPT, that, this, and all of that, even if you don't understand, you can ask me. Okay.
Sir,
I mean,
I wanted to ask
I may
one
not be
question.
knowing, for example, right? I don't know something, for example, right? But if I search, right, by seeing that answer, I can understand because few things come with experience, correct? So that's how I can clarify any confusion. Okay. Questions? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I've seen and I have seen it like somewhere, and like I've heard it also, that the basic difference between a Linux and a Windows is that they say in Linux we consider everything as a file.
Correct.
So sir, how it goes? Like I'm not able to clearly
So
understand.
actually, see, you don't need to, as a user, we don't need to think too much about that. Say, for example, when it comes to Linux, no, right? For you, it's a directory, correct? This one. For you, it's a
Yes.
directory. But internally, Linux treats this as a file. So everything is a file in Linux. That's an internal thing, internal structure. So that's how Linux is designed basically. It understands everything as a file, but for you, it's a directory only. So internally, it's a file. But in Windows, if you see the operating system code in Windows, right? So it treats file as a different and directory as a different. If it is a directory, it'll operating system treats that as a directory. So maybe for increasing the performance of the Linux, they would have architected that way.
Okay.
So why everything is a file in Linux? There's a philosophy, right? And in the philosophy, everything is a file. So it's an architecture, as I mentioned. That's a design principle they are following. Okay. See, they have designed that way, right, to gain some advantages. One advantage is this. By treating everything as a file, Linux maintains a simple and consistent model for interacting with system resources. So commands like this, whether they are regular file or devices. I'm trying to give you an example. Just give me a minute. Okay. See, what it says is, okay, see this. It says it allows the operating system to provide a consistent way of interacting with various resources, right? Like regular files, hardware devices, and then processes. For example, you see here hardware devices, right? You have a laptop, right? You have a laptop. You insert a pen drive to your laptop. You have a laptop. You insert a pen drive to your laptop. You have a pen, okay? So once you insert a pen drive is a device, correct? It's a hardware device, right? Pen drive is a hardware device. So the moment you insert pen drive to your laptop Linux will treat your hardware as a file. See, it will treat everything as a file. For example, network, it will treat it as a file. Hardware device, it will treat that hardware device as a file. Directory, it will treat that as a file. So everything is a file. So the moment you insert a pen drive, right, it will treat that pen drive as a file in Linux. Since it is treating everything as a file, right, it can interact with that hardware, with that network, or with that file, or with the directory very easily. There is a consistent way, right, of interacting with something. Consistent in the sense, if it treats this particular thing as a hardware, right, hardware, they have written some special code for that. If it is a hardware, go and then read that pen drive like this. You write some code for that. If it is a network, or if it is a process, go and then read that process, read that network things in this way. They have tried the code. If everything is a file, consistent way, you don't need to worry too much, right? Everything is a file. It's just one logic. Okay, just go on and read it. So basically, you don't have much confusions. So for that reason, they are treating everything as a file. So you just insert your pen drive, right? It will treat that as a file, and it knows how to read that file. So it will just go and then it will read the content from your pen drive, like files or whatever. So it says it's their design philosophy, right? It's their architecture. So to make things simple, internally, Linux treats everything as a file. But for you, you can think that it's a directory, it's a file. It's a directory, but internally, that's how it stores. Is treating everything as a file means you can use the same system call. See, you don't need to write different code for calling, reading different things, right? You have some piece of code. Let's think it as system calls, or like you have written some piece of code to read something, right? To do something. So read, right? So this read logic, whatever code you have, the same code works for the file, works for the directory, works for reading hardware, network, process, and everything. It says treating everything as a file means you can use the same system calls, same code, read, write, open, to interact with anything. It can be hardware, it can be file, it can be directory, it can be network, it can be anything. So basically, for processing the things very fast, right? Linux is very fast compared to Windows. So if they have to make, if they have to perform something very fast, they need to do something great, right? So that's their design. So using this architecture, they are able to increase the performance of your Linux. Okay, it all says that. Got at least an inch of better clarity, or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
did it help, Vishal?
No, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It did.
Okay, it's internal thing. You don't need to work ready, think too much about that, because that's how they have developed, the Linux operating system. That's a design principle. Okay. Any other questions? So that's how you get more and more information, by asking the questions. Okay. Anything you don't understand, ask me, right? If I don't know something, and if I search, at least after searching, I can understand the things. Okay. So I'll try, that's how I'll try to clear the confusions. But don't keep quiet. More questions, more knowledge you gain. Okay. Fine, that's all I have from my side. It's a 2 hours class. So any other questions you have? Last call. Okay, thank you everybody. Good night and have a nice weekend. Good night.